Welcome to The Fight on Matrix Midwest with Randy Carricker and company.
Hi kids, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us. That's Andrew and I'm Randy, and here we are closing in on the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, I can't believe it's already here.
Coming up here on the show, St. Louis teams are sending guys out right and left. Brendan Donovan earlier in the week, now the Blues make a deal. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about Mizzou hoops and where they stand in the field of 68. And Greg Amsinger of MLB Network joins us later on in the program. But we're going to get things started with our quick hits. And we talk a lot about St. Louis University basketball here in the show, but let's talk a little bit about Mizzou. In Joe Lunardi's bracketology, the Tigers currently sit in the first four out, meaning they're close enough to smell the bracket, but still on the wrong side of the cut line. At this point, Mizzou needs quality wins down the stretch. They have 3 games left against ranked teams, and they need to especially do well against those SEC opponents that are on their schedule to boost their resume and prove they belong. Tigers have 6 quad 1 wins left on the table and are 56th in KenPom, 70th in the net. If they want to hear their name called on Selection Sunday, they have to win at least a couple of those ranked games against SEC teams. And the other thing they have to do, Andrew, at least as far as I'm concerned, is win a game or two in the tournament.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster of a season, and you just think back to those non-con games before we got into SEC play, and they got blown out by Illinois right before they ended up beating Florida and Kentucky and Auburn, and it's like, oh, this Mizzou team might have something working for them, but then, of course, like I said, they're going up and down through SEC play. You mentioned the 4 ranked teams that they have in SEC play. Two of those games are going to be against Arkansas, so the same team. Those are going to be very important games for this Mizzou bunch. 2 out of those 4 ranked games have to go Mizzou's direction if they expect to make the tournament.
And to be honest about Mizzou, when we talk about the depth that SLU has, for example, 8 or 9 deep, Mizzou really only has a couple of scores on their team, right? Mm-hmm. They can count on Mitchell every night, but otherwise, who else can they say, okay, every single night this guy is going to bring it to the table? It just doesn't happen for the Tigers.
Yeah, Stone would be second fiddle to Mitchell, and I like the way Barrett's been playing over the last 5 or 6 games, but Jacob Cruz fires a lot of shots, and he's very inconsistent, and this Mizzou team is just kind of all over the place. They need their consistent scores to step up big down the stretch.
Hockey has a new hero. Penn State hockey star Gavin McKenna, the projected #1 overall pick in the draft, is facing legal trouble in Pennsylvania after being charged with felony aggravated assault stemming from an alleged incident outside a bar following the Michigan State-Penn State outdoor game at Beaver Stadium. Police say McKenna assaulted an individual and allegedly broke his jaw, leading to charges that also include simple assault, harassment, and disorderly conduct. If convicted, unlikely, McKenna could face significant prison time and fines under Pennsylvania law, and as a Canadian native, he could also be subject to deportation. That all being said, he was apparently reacting to some troll who was verbally assaulting his mother. McKenna was standing up for the virtues of his mother and knocked this guy out with 2 punches. Those 2 items, number 1, that he was standing up for his mother. Number 2, that he knocked him out with 2 punches, make him my #1 pick if I'm the St. Louis Blues.
I am totally Team McKenna, and you can expect his draft stock to skyrocket after this. Look, McKenna's not going to prison. If anything, this guy that ended up getting his jaw smashed in is going to get free education courtesy of McKenna. But this guy is going to play for a national championship and be the #1 pick next year. With the Blues having that pick too, this is more the reason why I want McKenna to show off his skills more and more. We already saw him fight on the ice for his teammates. Aiden Fink got smashed against Michigan State. Who was first to go up and cause a scene? That was Gavin McKenna. Now somebody is trolling his mom. Lesson 506, and a lot of people in society need to hear this today. Think before you speak. And he just kept going in and in and in to the point where McKenna's like, I've had it with you.
All right, the Blues also made some news on and off the ice as they dealt Nick Bjugstad to the Devils in exchange for forward Thomas Bordeleau and a conditional 4th-round pick. That move signals where the Blues are headed. They're getting rid of the veterans that they have in place. They aren't going to win with Nick Bjugstad. Bjugstad brought size, experience, and bottom 6 ability when the Blues needed it most during the offseason. But with the team slipping in the standings and younger players, Otto Stenberg as an example, pushing for NHL time, Bjugstad wasn't going to win here, so send him to a place where he's more serviceable than he would be here in St. Louis. 1 year left on the contract for Bjugstad. The Blues save a little bit of cap room, save a little bit of cash. It's about creating space for the next wave of talent.
Yeah, I think this is pretty cut and dry. Not only is it creating space, but it's just giving young guys more minutes, and that's Otto Stenberg in this case. I know a lot of fans were like, what the heck? This return is nothing. Think less about the return and think more about what this does for the Blues. You're not winning this season, so you might as well free up some space so that you can regroup in the offseason. Plus, the other thing I think about here, too, because as you start tanking for that #1 pick, somebody asked me this, and I'm curious to get your take on it. Would you rather, Randy, have the Blues get absolutely destroyed every single night as they go toward that #1 pick, or rally, show some pulse like they did against Dallas, and then rip your heart out?
Oh, I think there's absolutely something to be said for an ethical tank. And the team's playing hard. They're in every game. I want to see them be in every game. I want to see them compete. And especially once they get their guys back. I mean, you're playing without key players like Thomas and Holloway. So if you get your guys back, it kind of shows you that if you try hard, you have a chance to win. If they're trying hard and getting blown out every game, that means you have to completely blow everything up.
Yeah, my response was, they both suck.
Yeah.
Both instances suck.
Yeah, well, but you got to try to get that #1 pick. That's the bottom line for this team.
Absolutely.
The PGA Tour has returned to Scottsdale this weekend for the WM Phoenix Open tournament that once again goes head-to-head with the Super Bowl. It's awesome to have the golf tournament end and then the Super Bowl start within an hour after it. And the tournament brings the wildest atmosphere in golf, known as the People's Open. It features huge crowds, a stacked field, and a closing stretch that delivers drama every year. Scottie Scheffler headlines the field this year. He's a heavy favorite on a course where he's already won twice. And past champions there are Brooks Koepka, Hideki Matsuyama, and Ricky Fowler. Most Phoenix Opens are decided by a single shot or a playoff, and the mix of reachable par fives and dangerous water holes and roaring crowds makes this one of the best and most unpredictable tournaments on the tour.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this the other day because you mentioned how it butts up right to the Super Bowl. Is this event, is this the only event that could actually compete for viewing time during Super Bowl weekend? And, you know, maybe the Masters would have a better case in the terms of golf, but the Phoenix Open is one of the most watched because you can throw beer on the 16th hole if somebody bangs in a hole-in-one, and you do get the golfers to loosen themselves up a little bit because they know going in that it's going to be more of a party more than, say, the buttoned-up typical PGA Tour event. I love this Open, and I can't wait to watch it this weekend.
Yeah, and you're going head-to-head with the Super Bowl pregame show, basically,
right.
Not the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, yeah, nothing's going to compete with the Super Bowl, but this is a pretty good item to have. You could put big-time college basketball. You could put Duke and North Carolina. I think the golf might beat like a Duke and North Carolina basketball game.
I think so.
If you did them at the same time. I think the Puppy Bowl is right there. But, I think Waste Management probably wins the day before Super Bowl night.
Yeah, no event will compete with football at the end of the day, but if there was ever a golf event, it's this one right here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And if you hit a hole-in-one on 16 on Sunday, you get a free car.
Oh, that is so cool.
Pretty good deal. All right, I think it's fair to say that we both like the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl, but let's make this a little more interesting. The spread is 4.5. If you were basing your pick off of the spread now, does the pick stay the same? I think that this one goes under. The over-under is 45.5, right? Mm-hmm. I think we're looking at maybe a 24-14 kind of a game.
Okay.
Maybe a 27-14 kind of a game. I think that Seattle wins by double digits.
Wow, so still a comfortable win for you. I know why the spread is so close, because Sam Darnold hasn't played in a Super Bowl, Drake May hasn't played in a Super Bowl, and you wonder how bright the lights will be for both of those guys. I worry more about the health of Drake May more than I worry about, say, the pressure for Sam Darnold in this instance. I'm with you. I still lean Seahawks -4.5. I think a lot of people will too, and that's just, probably a big problem, because once the public backs something, it tends to go the opposite direction, and the Patriots will just surprise us. In the beginning, their defense will step up in a huge way, and it will be tough for the Seahawks to come back. But I still lean Patriots -4.5.
It was interesting during the week, and the biggest practice day of the week is Wednesday. In the Patriots practice, Drake May was a full participant. In the Seahawks practice, Sam Darnold was a partial participant. So it seems like there might be a little bit more concern about Darnold than May at the moment. Those are your quick hits here on The Fight. And later in the show, we're going to have some risky business. We're going to pick a parlay And of course, it's Super Bowl week, so we'll have a great one. And next up, Greg Amsinger of MLB Network will join us here in the fight.
Now live with MLB Network host Greg Amsinger. Brought to you by St. Luke's. Experience healthcare the way it should be. Experience St. Luke's.
Greg Amsinger, the lead anchor for MLB Network, is a proud native of St. Louis, a proud graduate of Lindenwood University, and he is a weekly guest on this show, which we're so thankful for. And Greg joins us now via Zoom on The Fight. Hey, Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I heard your last segment. I got the Patriots winning 13-10 in one of the ugliest Super Bowls we've ever seen.
Okay,
Please don't happen.
Bet the under, and you're taking New England outright. So when we go to DraftKings, that's what we should do, right?
And Randy, I know you. I know the last thing you want to see is the Patriots win another Super Bowl. That's the last thing you want to see.
Second to last thing. Last thing would be the Rams.
Right. Oh, I get it. Yeah. You're right. That's the last. Second to last thing.
Yeah.
Although your vitriol for Kraft and the whole organization is pretty high up there.
Are you kind of proud of it?
I don't think you've really unleashed all of it to the St. Louis public.
Not yet. So, okay, short story, less than a minute. In 1993, James Bush Orthwine owned the New England Patriots. St. Louis and was going to move the Patriots to St. Louis.
Right.
But Robert Kraft owned the stadium. There was a lease, and Kraft wouldn't let him out of the stadium lease to move the team here. So Orthwine didn't want to deal with all the litigation. He said, oh, fine, I'll just sell the team to you. And Kraft bought the team, bought the stadium. Otherwise, the Patriots would have been in St. Louis since 1993 under the ownership of the Bush family.
And Brady Carricker would have multiple St. Louis Patriots tattoos on his back.
Yeah,
yes, he
no
would.
doubt. And nobody ever would have heard of Robert Kraft. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So let's start with the big news of the week here in St. Louis. Brendan Donovan traded to Seattle, three-way deal, and the Cardinals get 5 assets back, including Lo Sainja. Gerangelo goes by Lo Sainja. Your impressions of the trade?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. From all of my personal contacts, I believe Brendan Donovan was going to the San Francisco Giants. They were the front runner to get him. And I have to believe the Mariners came in late and threw the one ship that Heim could not pass up. Gerangelo Sainja. Guys, I met this kid when he was 17 years old at the MLB Draft Combine, okay? Interviewed him then. He actually has the same agent as Jordan Walker, which I think is interesting, which is CeCe Sabathia's wife, Amber. And Gerangelo Sainja is a freak athlete. This is a star, and I heard rumblings that the Mariners were going to start pulling back his ability to pitch left-handed, which I think is the most moronic thing in the world. Like Jack Caglione, we don't want him to be a two-way player. All he's ever done has been a two-way player. So you think you're going to take something away from him that it's all he knows, and then he's going to hit the ground running, he's going to be great? Leave the kid alone. This is what you drafted. And in this case, this is what you traded for if you're the St. Louis Cardinals. Sainja is the headline of this deal to me. And I am so excited about him. That's a big arm from the right side. I think it's frontline stuff. Like, you could dream on an ace with this kid. And if it doesn't work out, the fact that he could be in the 9th inning and switch and throw triple digits right-handed and then throw 94 with a nasty slider from the left side, I dream on this. We thought Shohei Ohtani is clearly the unicorn of baseball. I totally get that. But we could see Gerangelo Sainja be something we've never seen in Major League Baseball at that level.
Hey, Greg, Chaim Bloom said what put this trade over the top was the 2 picks in the 70s that come up. You covered the draft. How important are picks in the 70s in 2026?
Unbelievable. It's a very even draft class. No, anything can change. We can see top-heavy guys surface up to the top. Last year, it was the top 5 guys, and then it was kind of everyone else. This is a very even draft class. I think you're going to see stars drafted in the 2nd and 3rd round this year. And again, I have to get ready for this, like, starting now for the MLB draft. I like it. It's deep, and Chaim knew what he was doing. The second the Giants trade or sign Luis Arraez, I knew the other shoe was about to drop, and Donovan was going to go somewhere else. It was close with the Giants. The fact that he's in Seattle is a great thing for the Mariners. I think they're ready to easily win their division, and who knows if he puts them over the top and they can actually push the Yankees for the AL title. But Listen, man, it's great for the Cardinals. This was a terrific offseason for Chaim Bloom and the St. Louis Cardinals. They offset everybody they needed to move, and they got high-end quality in return, and now the young guys are not roadblocked, and we can see what they got.
Greg, do you think the Cardinals now have the best farm system in baseball?
It has to be top 3. Has to be. I mean, if you just take the prospects that he acquired in this winter alone, it's a top 10 farm system. Just those guys. And we're not even talking J.J. Weatherall, among others, all the young pitchers that they have, the Quinn Matthews and all those guys. This is top 3 at least. But that's Jim Callis and Jonathan Mayo's category. I don't want to step on any toes. They're friends of mine. They get angry when I argue with who's the number 1 farm system. I let them make that call. You got to stay in your lane, Randy. You know what I mean? You got to stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hey, Greg, the other thing that happened on the day that Donovan got traded was the announcement that the Cardinals have changed their television platform, but it's not going to change dramatically. If you can give a 1-minute capsule as to how people can consume Cardinal baseball in 2026, lay it out for us.
On every platform imaginable. The actual television channel will be announced fairly soon, but on any platform you want to stream it, you're going to see it. On basic television, you're going to see it. The St. Louis Cardinals baseball games are going to be on a platter for you. You will not miss a game. You will not. And the beautiful part of it is, and this is no slight on the FanDuel Sports Network, Bally's, the whole thing that they had in St. Louis for a long time, but regional sports networks just don't have the budget and the resources of Major League Baseball and their production house, which is MLB Network, my employer. This is top of the line, everything from graphics to audio packages, television trucks, national directors, producers. I mean, this is going to look like what you see on Fox, the game of the week, MLB game of the week. That kind of quality is coming to your game for 162. So in a 60-second snapshot, I know it's a painful thing for all of you that were used to one certain level of broadcast, but be excited about this. San Diego's been loving it for a while. Arizona loves it. The Washington Nationals love it. The fan bases can see the difference. It's going to be high end.
So let's change gears now from the Cardinals and go to the big move that the Tigers made. Was signing Framber Valdez insurance just in case the Skubal era is over?
Let me tell you something. I was on TV last night, and I was on with Kevin Kiermaier and Chris Young. We talked about this upcoming decision for Tarek Skubal, and I said it's a slight that Tarek Skubal's won 2 straight Cy Youngs, was offered $19 million, which I get it would be close to the record that David Price set in arbitration in 2015. I mean, come on. Inflation's a thing, right? And then Tarek Skubal's camp goes to $30 million. That's what they want. You could argue that's a fair number for Tarek Skubal when you think of the pitchers that are making $30 million or more. Zach Wheeler's making $42 million this year, may I remind you, okay? So Tarek Skubal wants 30. The team's going to offer 19. Do you know that number is below Javi Baez this year for the Tigers, making $24 million? Do you know what's below Gleyber Torres, who's making $22 million? They didn't even make him the highest paid player on the team with their number, with their offer. Then we find out yesterday that the decision's going to come out. And then literally minutes after we had this conversation on TV, and I verbally said, this is not right, that the number they're giving wouldn't even make him the highest paid player on the team. They give an AAV of $32 million to Framber Valdez, making Framber not only the highest paid player on the team, but if Tarek Skubal wins the $30 million that his camp wants, he wouldn't be the highest paid player on the team. He wouldn't be the highest paid pitcher on the team. He won't even be the highest paid left-handed pitcher on the Detroit Tigers. So to me, this is like a soap opera that they signed Framber Valdez. It's a complete and utter reflection of how ugly the arbitration system is. And something's got to change, because there's no reason you should be disgruntled with a superstar player of a generation like Tarek Skubal. We've got to get on the same side in some way possible.
Yeah, it's a broken system. And the first thing I thought of when you said that the Tigers had offered 19, and I really hadn't put it in that perspective, last year Miles Michaelis made $18.5 million.
Come on, man.
Worth it.
Come on.
Yeah.
And look, 2 years ago he's making $2 million. The year before it was $10 million. So they're saying, well, that's the percentage increase. They're going with percentage increases. Come on, man. Look at the way this guy's performing. Just be fair. That's all we're asking.
Hey, Greg, I want to come back to the Cardinals for a moment because at the moment they don't have players that have won. In terms of at least position players, Lars Nootbaar is their most veteran position player. Do you think it's important, and you've been around a ton of clubhouses, you think it's important to have a guy with experience that kind of show players the lay of the land for a young team like this?
Yeah, I do. That's why I was kind of fingers crossed that they would sign Luis Arraez. You know, the impact that Luis Arraez made on the San Diego Padres in terms of their strikeout percentage collectively, not just adding him because he doesn't strike out, but all of their other players weren't striking out as much because he talks hitting. He understands different aspects of the craft that his teammates didn't understand. And I think Tony Vitello, the manager of the San Francisco Giants, understands that if Willy Adames touches the ball more, if Rafi Devers touches the ball more, if Matt Chapman touches the ball more, if Elliot Ramos touches the ball more, the Giants are going to be a better baseball team. So I was hoping that the Cardinals would at least kick the tires because they got him for 1 year, $12 million for Luis Arraez. Mm-hmm. But I think you make a great point. I think the Cardinals will look at how free agency sort of settles down. And I wouldn't be shocked at all if they added a guy that's got a lot of dirt in his spikes, if you will, a guy that's been around the game, understands a few things. But again, when you take a position player that you're going to give a couple $1 million to, you have to assume he's going to play, and you just cleared up all of this playing time for the young players. So it's a really weird balance, but I'm with you, man. It is essential because baseball is a marathon, and it's good to have an adult in the room. It just is.
Now, to a point you made earlier, and branching off of this veteran point, it feels like Chaim Bloom did check every offseason box, though, that he wanted in less than 3 months. And after last season's roller coaster of an offseason trying to trade Nolan Arenado, are you surprised that he pulled everything off in such a short time?
I'm not surprised. This was his MO. I think the reason why he got the job, he loves evaluating talent. It's his passion. It's his favorite part of the entire thing. You know, I had some candid conversations privately with him, and there are a lot of guys that are hard to do business with. There are a lot of front office executives that are very leery of someone as smart as Chaim Bloom, guys that were connected to the Tampa Bay Rays organization. You're kind of going, wait a minute, why do you like our prospect again? You know, you don't want to look good. You don't want to look poor. And years down the road, you lost a bunch of trades to Chaim Bloom. Chaim understands what he was up against, and when you're up against it like this, I think the entire sport knew he didn't want to roll into spring training with all of this veteran money on the books. So when everyone knows that, they kind of hold the leverage chips. The fact that he was able to accumulate this amount of talent, knowing that the sport knew he wanted to offset all of this experience before spring training, it is alarming. It is so impressive. I knew he was good at this, but I don't care what the athletic writes in terms of their assessment of front office performance in the offseason. This is an A+ from Chaim Bloom and his group, an A+ performance.
With you 100%. Speaking of the Athletic, they reported last weekend that Puerto Rico is not going to be able to get enough insurance on their players to be able to participate in the World Baseball Classic, perhaps. That is an issue that has come up. Right now, where do we stand? Obviously, Major League Baseball is totally invested in the WBC. Is Puerto Rico going to be there?
It is an ongoing issue, Randy. It is above my pay grade. There is a lot of concern to make this happen. The 2023 World Baseball Classic was such a smashing success, and the names on that Puerto Rican roster are so massively big in the sport of baseball, it would be just devastating to not see them there. Everything possible is being done to make sure that they have a team and that they will compete in the World Baseball Classic. It wouldn't be the same without Team Puerto Rico. And I feel very confident that by the time all the clubs show up for their first practice, Team Puerto Rico will have something established. Look, the stars are aligned, right? Mr. Puerto Rico himself, Carlos Beltran, who has his own baseball academy in Puerto Rico, just got elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I just don't see the baseball gods not making this happen in some sort of way. From a business standpoint, you need them there. You need all the big powers, and they are one of them. So I would be shocked, Randy, if Team Puerto Rico was not in the World Baseball Classic.
And I guarantee you guys, if Victor Caratini can't go, that the manager will become a player manager, right? Yachty's going to be behind the plate, right?
Love that. Everybody would love that. And Yachty would still be good, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And St. Louis would freak. Okay, pitchers and catchers, Greg, report next week. Let's have a last thing for me. I want a fun question in here. Where's your favorite place to be in the spring?
Oh, no, not even close. Randy knows this. I'm all things Old Town Scottsdale. I love Scottsdale. My wife doesn't like the dry air, but I am all things Arizona, and it's actually in my contract that for spring. I love Florida. Florida's a great state, but when it comes to spring training, the driving from one camp to the next is a lot of driving. You have to check out of your hotel. Give me Scottsdale. Everything's within 45 minutes. I love it. I look forward to it every single year. Scottsdale's my jam. That's number one by far.
Speaking of driving, you weren't with us last week because you were doing some MLB Network work in Arizona, and you sent me a little video of a drive. How far did that baby go?
I went 273, 275. Yeah. I know it's the thin air. I know it's Arizona.
Don't care.
But
Don't
you
worry.
have to understand. Amsinger, you're big, dude. You should be hitting the ball far. Dude, I got a fake right knee, and I'm left-handed. So all my weight is going into that. You know what I mean? So it's been taken away. It took me a while to really get it. And the indoor golf lab, which you guys got to see at some point at the Amsinger homestead, has really I'm an uncoachable athlete, Randy. I have to do it myself. And I've figured it out. I have figured it out.
Until you go back on the course the next time.
You know what? I'm going to play a lot of golf. I've got guys. We call it the Mont Bear Golf Club because our son's nickname is Bear. He's going to kill me that I said that on your show. But it's the Mont Bear Golf Club, and I'm not kidding you. We have tee times lined up because I'm off for the next 2 weeks. We got guys coming to the house like every night. So there's a lot of golf being played at the Amsinger Homestead Mont Bear Golf Club.
Love it. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Can you put the Super Bowl up on your screen, on your simulator?
You know what? My wife said we should do that. I don't want anything in there but golf, beer, and I already got sports TV in there. I don't want to mess with it, man.
Okay. There's enough TV. Yeah, you're good.
Thing to me, Randy. I don't want to mess with it.
All right.
I don't want Doritos in the rough. You know what I'm saying?
Fair point.
And we'll talk. I need to get your spring training dates in Arizona. We need to connect on there.
Absolutely, yeah. Of course, Randy. Come on, man. We need to play golf in Arizona and go buy some cheap Arizona Cardinals football gear.
I like that idea. And there's a lot of, you can buy a number 1 jersey, I think, for 50% off right now. Thanks, brother.
See you guys.
See you, man.
Greg Amsinger. We're live with him every week from MLB Network, and he is brought to you by St. Luke's. Top-notch doctors and everything from heart health, orthopedics, and more. Visit stlukes-stl.com today. Coming up in the list, it's our Super Bowl food draft here in the fight. Beautiful. Prior to the Super Bowl, we're taking the list to a whole new level, drafting the best Super Bowl foods at your Super Bowl party. Here are the options. You've got wings, pizza, nachos, guac and dips, mozzarella sticks, pretzels, toasted ravioli here in St. Louis, a veggie tray for those of you weirdos out there, and cookie cake. We randomized the order before the show, and Director Tyler got the first pick. I'll go second. Andrew will go third, and you kind of like to have that 2-3 back-to-back.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll go with a snake draft format. So we will get things started, and Director Tyler is going to make the first selection in the food draft, the Super Bowl food draft. And with the first selection, Tyler selects do-do-do-do, He's going with cookie cake.
That might be a surprise to people.
February,
cookie cake off the rip?
Yeah, so there's a cookie cake. Andrew has one. His birthday was this week.
Yeah, you can't have this one, though, Tyler, because this has my name on it. Nope. This is for Randy and I. And you know what? If you do want this one, we'll just start eating it right now.
Okay.
So don't take it from us.
Okay, with the second selection, I'm going to go with my personal favorite. And that is Team Character selects chicken wings.
That's such a good choice.
Chicken
That would have been my choice.
Oh, there we go.
Especially if I had the number 1 pick, I would have gone wings too. So I think you you got to steal at 2. I don't even know if that's possible, but in a draft of 9, I think you can have a steal with the second pick.
You're looking really good, though, with numbers 3 and 4.
Oh, yeah, I am, because pizza is still on this list. And, okay, let me ask you this. Before I go nachos, because that's where I would lean right now. Is guacamole also like all dips, or is it are we just going chips and guac? Like, could a buffalo chicken dip be mixed in there?
Let's get a ruling from Tyler.
Okay.
Because I would separate guac and like French onion dip or something like that.
So we're separating those?
Things, yeah.
I think this is really easy for me then. Pizza will be the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and then coming right back at it after trading away DJ Moore, the Carolina Panthers get another pick, and I'm taking nachos. Pizza and nachos. Back to back. I think I have the finger food that I'm looking for, and I have the meal for the people at home.
All right. I think that's an interesting choice, and I think they're both fantastic choices. I would have taken nachos. I expected you to take T-Ravs, but because you didn't take T-Ravs,
taking them.
That's where I'm going. I'm going to have wings and T-Ravs as my first two choices.
That's good too. I mean, you're loading your plate with good meat.
Yeah, and a lot of great finger food.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because I just showed, for pizza, I showed Emos on the screen.
Yeah.
It would have been easy for me to shop for T-Ravs and get them both there, but instead, you know what? I have to go all over the place to do my shopping.
Yep. Right now, I'm starting at Fenton Bar and Grill, by the way.
Oh gosh, it's a great place to start. Make sure to get the golden sauce.
Yeah.
Everybody sleeps on that golden sauce. Oh,
yep.
And buy the bottle. When you go to your Super Bowl party, buy the bottle. I'm telling you, you could drink that stuff.
Okay, Tyler has back-to-back picks here. Tyler, what do you have as your next?
Oh, he's not even telling us. He's just going to show it on the screen. I love it.
Okay, so Tyler has the cookie cake, and he's got the mozzarella sticks, and he's got another pick, and he's going with the guac.
Good for you.
Okay, I'm not an avocado guy. I'm not a guac guy. So that was not going to be a part of my selection process.
Well, I think this pick's going to be really interesting for you, Randy, because you're not a veggie tray fan.
I'm not.
And you're also not a big pretzel guy.
I'm not.
It's a tough choice.
I am so not a pretzel guy that for others in the room, and just to say I ate a vegetable, I'm going to take a vegetable tray.
I love it. That is awesome.
There it is. See, I can do some carrots.
You know what?
I can do some tomatoes and dip. Broccoli. I love broccoli. Cauliflower there. I love a lot of that stuff there.
I got to tell you, every Super Bowl, you feel like just a big fatso. You put on your big boy Thanksgiving sweatpants. At least at your party, people can feel good about themselves by putting a carrot or two on their plate.
Well, not only that, but think about this. You get the protein from the wings, right? That's really healthy for you.
And most wings come with celery and carrots.
That's right. Toasted ravioli, if you're here in St. Louis, you're going to feel an allegiance to your city. I mean, you got the fleur-de-lis flag flying. So, and then the vegetables. I mean, mine is 100% healthy.
You know, I'm thinking about this now. You basically ordered a meal at a restaurant.
I did.
Your appetizer was T-Ravs,
Yep.
and then your main course is wings, which comes with the vegetables.
Yeah, I like that.
That's kind of brilliant. I didn't think about it from that point of view at all, but you just ordered from a restaurant. Meanwhile, for me, I have nachos, which I guess can be a starter. Pizza would be my meal. I guess I love the fact that I got pretzels last. Let me tell you, pretzels. If you go to Pretzel Boys in town, they have those like thumb pretzels. You can see them right there at the top of the screen. They're not like your basic soft pretzel from the ballpark. It's those finger pretzels. You can get them with regular nacho cheese. You can get them with icing, cinnamon sugar. You can do kind of a lot with those things. And what I really enjoy about those pretzels now, Randy, is I'll make them a dessert. I'll make the pretzels with the icing and the cinnamon sugar. I don't even need the nacho cheese. So now I have my app, which is nachos. Everybody's going to grab them pregame, right?
Yep.
You sit down with your pizza, and then at halftime, you go up and get your pretzels.
Yep. Now, that's a great call. One other thing we need to note is we only had one dessert in here, and the cookie cakes at Schnucks are unbelievable, and they have Super Bowl cookie cakes, so you can go pick that up. But one thing we didn't put in there is a brownie.
Right.
And if you get like a brownie from Schnucks, if you get the little mini brownies, they're absolutely delicious.
Oh my gosh, Schnucks Bakery. I mean, even the soft cookies that they push out. I feel like every time I walk through that bakery aisle, I'm like, don't do it, don't look right, don't look right. And then the other thing we didn't put on here, and I'm actually shocked that we didn't put it on here, pigs in a blanket.
Oh, yeah, Little Smokies. We thought about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, even wrapping those in bacon, and you can have a lot of different Super Bowl foods. That's why I brought up buffalo chicken dip, because I think that that's a hot commodity, too, on the appetizer table. But these 9, I think, are a really good set of 9. If I showed up at a party and these were the only 9 foods there, I'm good.
I would say we have, at the very least, for most people, 9 of the top 11, maybe.
Yeah.
Fun fact, by the way, after Thanksgiving, Super Bowl Sunday is the most food-consuming day in America. We eat more food on Super Bowl Sunday than any other day of the year, more than New Year's, more than Christmas.
More than Fat Tuesday?
More than Fat Tuesday.
Wow.
Yep, we eat more food in America than any other day except for Thanksgiving.
That is insane. Tyler said he's going to bring the Tums for us, too.
Oh, good.
Because when
Tums
we
are
leave, we're going to be a little bit full from, let's just say we carb loaded.
And I know you've already got your plans for Super Bowl Sunday, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, my plans always start out with making a same-game parlay of the Waste Management Open so I can watch that.
Yeah, but from a food standpoint.
Oh, yeah, and for food, yeah. I'm going to Fenton Bar and Grill. You took trash wings, and that's what I would have taken.
Trash wings, yeah. They're fantastic, and we hope that you have a great menu for your Super Bowl and enjoy the game. And we will talk about what we ate on Monday, along with a lot of other things. So there is your draft.
I love it.
Again, my draft consisted, I've already forgotten, wings, toasted rav,
and
veggie dip.
Yeah.
Tyler started off with the cookie cake, mozzarella sticks, and dips.
Yeah.
And then you wound up with the nachos, the
pizza, and pretzels. I love my draft.
There you go. Hey, coming up here in the fight, we're going to build a parlay. Stick around. Hey, we're in a cold time of year, a really cold time of year in St. Louis, where it's hard to get outside, it's hard to do anything. But if you want to do something during the spring or the summer or the fall, and your knees, your ankles, your joints aren't feeling great, now is a great time of year, if you need a knee or a hip replacement, to call St. Luke's and find out about the great jobs that they do with joint replacements, because they do the best job in the area. They've got this incredible technology called the T-Mini. It's a scope that goes in and allows them to perfectly place your new joints in your knees or your hips. And it takes 6 to 8 weeks of rehab. You can be back out on the golf course by the spring and playing golf again. You can be taking those walks in the park. You can be crawling on the ground with your grandkids if you get that work done at St. Luke's. They really are amazing. And the great thing about St. Luke's is that their doctors have a great bedside manner. They're going to tell you what the best plan is for you to get that replacement. And then they have the best rehab in the industry, whether it's at home or whether it's there. And the rehab people are wonderful. I dealt with them. You'll want to get it done at St. Luke's. So all you need to do is get in touch with my friends at St. Luke's. They do an amazing job. And if you give them a call at 314-205-6060 or find them on the web at stlukes-stl.com, get those joint replacements done if you need to. Get in touch with St. Luke's. All right, it's time for us to build a parlay. And of course, you can go to any of the platforms. We use DraftKings to make your Super Bowl bets, and there's so many fun prop bets. But we're going to pick an MVP for this Super Bowl. And, you know, there are some long shots, and we're going to build a long shot bet later. But then there's a normal bet, and the Seahawks are the favorites. Panthers aren't in the Super Bowl this year.
Although their old quarterback is.
Yeah. But I kind of think that if Sam Darnold is great, he's going to have to be great because of Jackson Smith and Jigba. So I'm going to go with JSN as my normal MVP of the Super Bowl.
I like that. I think that if the Seahawks dominate, it probably is Sam Darnold, Smith and Jigba, or Kenneth Walker.
Oh, that's a good point.
And I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker just because of the value there. No Zach Charbonnet, and if you give me plus 800 on the running back, that could just easily vulture everything. He could score 3-4 different times just in the red zone and only put up like 70 yards and still be the MVP.
Okay. That's the same game parlay that we'd like to play, but they won't let us play it, right?
Never, because they don't want us to have great odds. Plus, you can't have 2 Super Bowl MVPs from the same team. So it would all be the same. If you put $100 on Smith and Jigba, it's $550, and it's $800 if you put it on Kenneth Walker. What's your long shot?
My long shot, with 2.5 sacks of Drake May, maybe even knocking him out of the game, is DeMarcus Lawrence.
Oh, we're going down to
2.5
plus
sacks
9,000
and
range.
a sack fumble.
I love that.
Okay.
I'm gonna have
plus
some fun.
9,000.
I'm going to have some fun too. So I'm going to say that all of a sudden, Sam Darnold gets shaken up early in the first quarter, and then, oh man, he can't return. Who's their backup quarterback? Well, the one, the only, Tigers legend Drew Lock. I'm going to bank, and I'm not going to actually bank on an injury because that sounds rude. I'm going to hedge an injury and say Drew Lock's going to come in and just take over the game. 300 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Everyone's going to fall in love with the Drew Lock story. He wins us $900.
That is pretty good.
On a $10
so does
bet.
DeMarcus Lawrence,
right,
by the way.
Exactly. I'd only put 10 on these two.
That's risky business here in the fight. Coming up, we've got Take It or Leave It and Story Time with Uncle Randy. Stick around. All right, time for Take It or Leave It here in the fight. And Andrew, we both saw the terrible crash that Lindsey Vonn, this U.S. skier, had in practice last week leading up to the Olympics. She's 41, making a comeback. She had retired about 5 years ago, and now she was going to return to the slopes. Well, she wound up rupturing her knee. She tore an ACL in practice and ruptured her Achilles tendon. And she says she still wants to put a brace on and ski in the Olympics. Take it or leave it. If Vonn skis in the Olympics, she will go down as the toughest athlete in the history of sports.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that, Randy. I saw Lindsey Vonn working out in her home. She not only was doing everything full body, but she was squatting. She was doing skiers. She was doing anything you could think of with. We would sit on the couch all weekend.
Yeah.
We would not want to do anything after rupturing our ACL, and she's out there getting stronger on a ligament that's not even there.
Yeah.
It's
And by the way,
crazy.
it does appear that working out is being effective for her.
Yeah, she doesn't even look phased.
No.
It's unbelievable. Yes, I think she's just one tough cookie to begin with. Okay. The Hall of Fame announced on Tuesday that newly elected Carlos Beltran will wear a team on his cap, and that's going to be the Mets. Take it or leave it, that's the way it should be.
Oh, yeah. He became a Hall of Famer as a member of the New York Mets. The stretch of his career that put him over the top absolutely was the Mets. All due respect to the Royals.
I agree with you. I think the Mets are where people remember him, and unless you're a Royals fan, you don't isolate it. Everybody else in Major League Baseball says, "Oh, Carlos Beltran, Met." The Royals say, "Oh no, Royals through and through."
Yeah, well, no, sorry. And you know what? He should have a statue in front of Citi Field where he was batting left-handed, right? Where he's just watching the ball go by him.
Yeah, when he watches a curveball just fall right into the zone.
All right, our director Tyler has to take it or leave it too. Take it or leave it, Snoop Dogg is the reason most people watch the Olympics these days. And I would say that, yes, that is the case.
All right, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and take it.
Yeah,
go ahead
that's the way
and
to
just
take it,
check that off. I don't know if that's a take for me, though.
Take
I'll
it.
leave it.
Yeah, it's good. All right, now it's time for Story Time with Uncle Randy. Andrew's going to spin the wheel. We'll come up with a decade from my sports fandom. We'll come up with a sport, and then I will come up with a story for you. And we're going back to the 2010s.
Wow. We're living in this century.
We're looking at 2000 through 2009. That's how I look at it.
For 10s, or are we going 10s and beyond?
Oh, yeah. So this is 11? No.
Yeah, I think it's
10 through 19.
10
right?
through 19, or 10 through now.
Yeah, 10 through 19 hockey.
Yeah, let's do it. I wonder what happened in 10
2010.
through 19.
Yeah, 10 through 19 hockey. Okay.
Good
We've
memories.
done this one a lot lately, haven't we?
We have. We've been living in the 2010s.
Yeah. Okay, 2010s hockey. Okay, this will be fun. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you know what? One of the great things that happened for the St. Louis Blues was back in 2012. And Dave Checketts had been the owner of the Blues. And I don't think most of us realized the depth to which the Blues had fallen. And they were in the hands of the National Hockey League. Dave Checketts had kind of checked out, and the Blues were in the hands of the National Hockey League. And Tom Stillman, in the summer of 2012, made a deal with the NHL for his group to take over ownership of the St. Louis Blues. And nothing could have ever been better for the Blues than for Mr. Stillman to take over ownership. He's been an absolutely perfect owner for this team. But this team was in danger of, well, not grave danger. Is there any other kind? But they were in danger of not being the St. Louis Blues anymore. There was a little possibility there, but thanks to Tom Stillman and his ownership group taking over, the Blues not only were able to sustain themselves financially, but thrive off the ice and on the ice and deliver a Stanley Cup to St. Louis in 2019. So that summer day in 2012, I don't think any of us, I certainly didn't realize how important it would be for St. Louis, because with all due respect to the DeWitts, who have done a magnificent job with the Cardinals, and Georgia Frontier, who did an incredible job bringing the Rams here. But I think Tom Stillman is the best front of an ownership group that we've ever had here in St. Louis. The way he interacts with fans, the way he tries every single year, the way the team goes about their business and is ingrained in the community. That summer day of 2012 when Tom Stillman took over the Blues was a huge day in their history.
I won't disagree with that. I also want to add in, and you probably felt this too during your lifetime, that there were so many of my uncles that said, I just never thought I'd watch the Blues win a Stanley Cup in my lifetime. Oh. I never thought it, because it just never was feeling that way. And the fact that he was able to keep building on from that moment when Stillman took over all the way into 2019, that was just such a great thing for people of my uncle's age.
Our guest earlier this week, Michelle Smallman, just dogged me incessantly about getting a tattoo if the Blues won the Stanley Cup. Finally, I thought the same thing. I said, I'll never have to get a tattoo because they're never going to win a Stanley Cup. Well, that's why Tom Stillman is why I have a tattoo on my back.
Yeah, and thank you for putting the tattoo on your back and making the hockey gods happy.
Thanks to the Blues for winning the Stanley Cup, so I had to do it. All right, time for this date in sports history. And in 1989, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar became the first player in NBA history to score 38,000 points. And there was a belief at that time that nobody would ever score 38,000 again. About 6 years ago, LeBron James passed him, and LeBron has gone past 40,000 points right now. But this was the bucket that put Kareem over 38,000 points as an NBA player. Pretty incredible.
Absolutely insane.
And really, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in league history. We never talk about Kareem being one of the
greatest
all-time
of all
greats.
time, yeah, because Michael came after him, and now LeBron is entering into the mix. And I also think Kobe, is a shooter. There's just so many. Steph Curry now is a three-point shooter.
And by the way, and I love Kareem, but the best Laker of all time was Magic Johnson.
And Kareem didn't do anything fun. He did things so well, but he's not taking threes from the logo.
Right.
That's what everybody likes to see now.
Hey, check us out. You can either watch us here, 5, 10, and 7 on Matrix Midwest every single weekday. And, of course, you can find us on the KMOV app, the Matrix Midwest app. You can go to matrixmidwest.com and sign up. Go to the Character and Company tab to participate in the fight. Pretty much fun. All right, you've got Seattle?
I've got Seattle, -4.5.
Oh, don't forget the 2 a.m. on First Alert 4 that you get to watch us too. I got Seattle too. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we will see you Monday after the Super Bowl right here on The Fight. So long, everyone. Have a great weekend.